And now that we have those fairy energies in the room, I want to welcome you all to the Spiritual Corner. My name is Prison P-Chan or PZ, whatever you want to call me, and I'm here with a collective reading to see what you need to know at this time. We're going to start off with a fairy oracle pull, and then we'll move into tarot. I'll be doing the 3-card pull with the past, present, and future. See where you're at, see where you were, and see where you're going to be as well. So let's see. Alright. Okay, trying to give me a surprise. They're all flipped over face down. So we have Home Sweet Home, Fire Dance. This is a beautiful card. I haven't gotten this one yet. And Pedestal. So for sure, I know what Home Sweet Home means, and Pedestal, we're going to find out what Fire Dance means, but it looks like maybe in the past you had to retreat back home, maybe find solace in the home that you are currently in by redecorating, reevaluating your perspective, or even the home mentally, even the connection with source, like that being the home of your energy, going back to that. But it's gonna obviously change with the fire dance. I do feel like there's some passion there, an ignition of passion towards your endeavors, creative fire with the orange from it being your sacral energy, and passion and action depriving from wands and tarot, which is fire element. And then there's the pedestal, which has a lot to do with putting yourself on a pedestal and restricting yourself with your own mindset. Of course, we're going to read through these just so we can get those extra tidbits, but it almost feels like you've been down a path of learning to come home to yourself, diving into your passions more, and also learning about, I'm getting like releasing yourself from your own mental restraints. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So 64, Home Sweet Home. The keyword is return. There are 3 levels to this card. This card is about returning to your roots. This may involve taking a trip to your childhood home or to a relative's. It involves thinking about old memories from the past and perhaps releasing those that are not so good. Age in life bringing more understanding to events that happened in the past. The lessons are now easier to understand and to absorb. Number 2. This card also refers to the home where you live now. If you're not comfortable where you live, start looking around for a new home or start to do things to your abode to make it more comfortable. It may be time for you to do a little bit repairing or decorating, freshening things up a bit. 3, for those who are ready for to hear it, this card also is about awareness. Awareness in the sense, in this sense, is about reaching that point in the spirituality that you suddenly feel your connection to one source. This is when you truly suddenly feel, suddenly understand that you are connected to spirit and always have been and always will be. It is the knowing that you are part of something that is much greater than your physical being here on earth. It is knowing that you, that goes to the core of your being. You have an integral role in all existence. Once you begin to understand your own divinity, you begin to be kinder and to live life fuller. So yeah, there's definitely a coming home element. It could be coming home to the idea of your connection to source, coming home to your actual childhood home or relatives, or just, you know, that reunion energy, to figure out things, even if it's just like mentally going home to that past of yours, and really getting to the bottom of your psyche. And then there's also your current environment, whether it be creating that refresh currently, or to do that mentally in your mental home. I feel like we're gonna need tarot to really track down like what this is, specifically, since this card is very broad. But we're gonna go ahead and check out Fire Dance number 33. And I'll hold a finger there for a pedestal since I just passed by it. All right, and we have Fire Dance, fire energy. The fire dance represents the dance of life, for it is giving of life, which is the function of the Kundalini energy force, also known as the serpent energy. Kundalini is a natural sexual energy that is stored at the base of the spine. It is through the energy that life and creation are achieved. The Kundalini energy is a mighty force that should be allowed to be awakened at its own natural pace. It is naturally open to those who become more loving and conscious of their own divinity and connection to spirit. Fire energy is awakened too soon. Oh, if it's awakened too soon, is at risk of misdirection. It is wiser to study, read, and work on your own spiritual understanding. It will gently let the fire energy rise. Balance is very important in the energy system and promotes well-being on all levels. Though we refer to the sexual energy, it is not limited to sexual use. All creations use this energy. It is the creative force in the physical body. It is not completely dormant, even in the least enlightened being. The energy is incompletely dormant, is constantly used daily, sorry about that, in conjunction with all your energy systems, which all work together. This is a wonderful but very powerful energy which demands respect. This card indicates that you have been feeling low in energy. If so, be sure to review your eating, exercising, and your sleep habits. Take good care of yourself and take a releasing of worry statement to yourself and the universe. You can also consult a doctor if you feel any real problems. They also recommend exercise here, as well as sitting in a quiet, comfortable place, and closing your eyes. So meditating, slowly imagining breathing in and out each form of your chakra system. So they're also saying to meditate on the colors orange and red, then move into yellow, green, blue, and then violet for your chakras. And once you breathe in each color, you'll feel like it is integrated within your body, and then you can move on to the next. So yeah, I'm really getting like a huge focus on your sacral energy. Even though it's saying sexual, I was also getting that as more so like passionate energy of creation. Yeah, I'm really getting a pull on the connection to source, and you starting to learn how to use that source of energy. One tidbit of advice to that: if you find yourself someone who procrastinates a lot, though you have a lot of big dreams, the one thing that you can do is transmute and alchemize energy that comes into you that makes you put into that procrastination. So it starts off with pushing through the procrastination, through altering your perspective. For example, you obviously want to be somewhere where you need to be, but you can't be there unless you actually do the thing. But your mind is thinking about resources, or I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, what can we do to get these things? And if we can't get these things currently, what can we do with what we have currently as of tools to utilize those until we are able to get our resources? So it's almost like you're trying to find a way to be optimistic, and also a way to achieve your goal. The next step would be actually trying to implement some sort of discipline. I think that that comes from like working on it. You're obviously not going to be completely just ready and motivated all the time. You have to push yourself through it, and then once you push yourself through it, you have to make sure that you're, first of all, doing something creative that really does align with you, because if it doesn't, it's not going to work. But if you know that you really want to do this, but procrastination is a thing, um, pushing through it is the first step, and then after that is when you hit walls. Like say you're working on a project and there's an element that you're just not understanding, um, taking some time away from that to just do other things, whether it be like you say you like reading a book and kind of putting your mind there, just pivoting to other things that you feel that you would like to get into, but not overwhelming yourself. So maybe pick three things, one main thing that you want to get into, two things to alter through while you regulate your system however you may need to regulate it. um, and then once you have those epiphanies in between that time, that break, you'll start to be more motivated and also excited to go back to that thing. So for example, I remember learning Blender for the first time, and there was something that I needed to do, but I had a hard time understanding how to do it. But through taking a break and just maybe focusing on work and finding a way to be more optimistic at my current job when I was working, um, eventually I remember gaining a lot of just random downloads while at work and realizing, oh, I can try it this way and that way. And then I came across a video of how someone else did something, and I started to realize, okay, this is a lot easier than I'm wrapping my head around it. Or maybe I was looking at a different source that unfortunately didn't give me the information I needed, and was also a longer process of something that I could have did simply this way. And Blender is a really good example of how life has so many different paths to take, and you can accomplish the same goal. That's literally how Blender is. For those who don't know what Blender is, it's a sculpting software. Um, but there's so many different ways to do something that even if you don't understand one way, there's three other ways that you may actually understand it. And that's kind of how you have to look at things when you're going into projects. Is like, I know I want to really do it this way, but can it be done another way? And will this alleviate a lot of stress? And that goes for anything. If obviously there's something that you just can't control, then don't worry about that either. That's another element that will like lower your motivation, is when you get stuck on getting it done a certain way and not seeing the benefit of like, okay, yes, it can't be done this way, but there's so many other ways. Therefore, why am I so hung up on this thing that I can't control, or this element that I can't control? Is it really that hard? Like, is it that stressful? And if I let it go, what can I do with that energy, that frustration? See, it's like you're funneling all of that negative energy, that frustration, that passion, really, to something else, rather than anger, rather than just complaining about a situation. You're immediately going into problem solving mode. If I hope someone needs to hear that, but we're gonna see exactly what this is. Oh, and pedestal, lastly, 38. And I'm sad I put down my book because I literally had the page, but we're right here. Pedestal. The keyword is choice. Look at this card. The angelic being is bound round and round, yet her bindings are not secured. She can choose to unbind herself at any moment. Situations are not always as dire as they seem. If you have chosen this card today, understand that you must look deeper into things that are going in your life. Are you seeing all the different sides of a situation? Perhaps you are feeling restricted when it is your choice to simply decide to be free. We often bind ourselves with limited beliefs and outdated thinking patterns. What habits can you change in order to release yourself from the limited thinking? Many situations are not black and white or good or bad. It's up to you to find the middle ground in your perspective. Find the place where you can sit and see both sides, ask for clarity, to see all facets before making up your mind. See, that's exactly what I was telling you about this energy. It feels like you have the passion, you're finding your center, your home, you're coming home to source, to spirit, to the universe, but there is almost a need to unbind yourself from your own restrictions, from your own restraints, from feeling as if something isn't going to happen. And that has a lot to do with your perspective. Your perspective on, and this could stem from your childhood. Maybe there was a lot of misplaced energy, and you're starting to learn where to place that energy, especially when it comes to actually putting in action towards your goals. So let's go ahead and pull some cards. 64, home sweet home. By the way, we have 64, 33, and 38. 33 is a master ascended number, so you could be an ascended master. You could be going into your ascended master. You could also be this, but you're just not channeling that. Let's see. Home sweet home. Yeah, definitely getting with the Page of Cups reversed and the Two of Pentacles. Some inner child healing that needed to be done. It has something to do with your personal power, feeling like you can manifest something. You definitely have a lot of heart with the Ace of Cups. You could have also went through a process of opening your heart to self-love, to loving yourself more, to loving spirit more. This is also the cup that spirit, the universe, gives you. Your cup runneth over. That's kind of where the Ace of Cups is deprives from, is the source giving you all of this self-love, all of this like, I'm getting like that he's providing for you on a spiritual level. And yeah, this definitely has something to do with family with the Ten of Cups, and then the Two of Swords reverse coming out. There's a decision that needed to be seen or made here when it comes to your family, maybe even just like your past and family dynamics, how that affected you as a child when it comes to your emotions. Because like, even I feel like, you know, obviously anger is an emotion, frustration is an emotion, and your emotions can lead you to your actions depending on how you if you actually like, I'm kind of getting impulsive actions. Like sometimes people will, if they're not mindful of their emotions and how that can cause them to react, they react in the wrong ways with their energy. And I think that's what you had to learn, or what you're learning here is where to put that, instead of putting it in a place that's going to be wasted. Finding your take of like motivation and passion, and filling that up with your frustration instead. Fire dance. We definitely have tugs on the past. It's very interesting with the Six of Cups. Let's get some more on that. Yeah, there was definitely some sort of connection with your sacral and how you move based on your investments in the family realm. With the Seven of Pentacles hitting the Two of Swords and the Ten of Cups. There's almost a decision to be made about the past and what you're investing in. Yeah, with the King of Pentacles at the bottom as well, there's really a center or a focus on your investments, um, acting upon investments with the masculine energy out here. Um, there's something you're watching that, or something you saw in your past that made you make a decision that has to do with how you see your past, or how maybe even you see yourself. And I'm kind of getting like past person as well with the Six of Cups, but it doesn't have to be. And as I say that, the Queen of Wands reversed and Justice comes out. So there. What's the two? Who is it? Okay, so I don't know if this is a person. The Queen of Wands reversed. It's like somebody is watching you. It's from your past. Maybe past in your family. There's something going on with a Queen of Wands reverse, which is it's Leo. Could be a distorted feminine energy. Someone that's jealous, promiscuous, possibly. So you could have had a past where, there's nothing wrong with that, we all go through it, where your sacral energy was put towards lustful actions, and there needed to be a processing of what here is correct and what is not. It's almost like you weren't, this caused you to be inconsistent in the investment of yourself and your creative endeavors. So it's like your energy was being funneled somewhere else, almost in through a strainer rather than on yourself. And this created an imbalance in your reciprocity with yourself, and even source when it's the Page of Pentacles reversed and then the Six of Pentacles reversed. And then with the Knight of Wands, that's that lustful energy again. It's also self-sabotaging energy with these cards around it. There's definitely a need to balance out your sacral energy and its uses. How you showed up in the world when it came to your actions, responding, being reactive rather than responding. And this could be something you're working through currently. And it looks like you're looking back on your childhood, or going back home possibly. Could have made, like, you made a lot of decisions about your childhood, and this has led you to your current situation where this is a lot of introspection, a lot of deep thinking, a lot of evaluating energy, kind of being patient with yourself, and really looking at your past, at who you used to be, how you used to act, how you got to this insecure feeling of being it's like you wanting attention but not getting it, not feeling worthy of attention, maybe even doing more chauvinistic type things to get attention as well. But I feel like this is you looking at that past energy, from when you were a kid to when you got older, and really just balancing that out. I don't think that the work is done here because you are still coming into or starting to evaluate this pedestal energy where you're kind of holding yourself back. And this could be because you're still trying to figure out where to put this energy. Because this is very much, this still feels like you're figuring things out. You're still understanding yourself, rather than coming to a full conclusion. It feels like after the pedestal energy, that's when you come to that conclusion. Like, hey, I'm restricting myself. I'm restraining myself from getting things done, from following my dreams, from achieving my goals, and that's due to a lack of direction in where my energy goes. Pedestal. Well, there's definitely a surrendering here with the the 9 of Wands. Wow. And then you're coming up as the Queen of Pentacles. But there is... What's the Queen of Pentacles in the Tower? Yeah, so... This is a process that's going to take some time, so be patient with yourself. There is a need to truly see a situation for what it is. I feel like you're someone who wants to stick it out for everyone. You want to look like you have it together, but there's a difference between looking and having it together. You don't need to play the part if you're not ready, if you're not secure, and like, don't feel like you have to put on a mask. No, you don't want to hinder everyone with your feelings, your attitudes, being pessimistic or bringing that energy into the room and allowing it to spread. But you also don't want to lie to yourself either. And I'm kind of getting that with the Queen of Pentacles, well, the 9 of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, to the Tower reverse, to Judgment reverse, clarifying the Queen of Pentacles and the Tower reverse. There's almost like you're trying to ignore the inevitable by wearing some sort of mask, and you don't need to do that. This process isn't about who can look more together. It's about healing. And you can't heal if you're lying to yourself, Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, and you're too focused at the same time with trying to keep yourself together and also focusing on what has been lost rather than what you still have. There's 3 cups that are on the ground here, but there's 2 right behind them. But you're focusing on what was lost, including maybe even where you had to leave from. If this has to do with your home, I can definitely see that, but it doesn't have to be. It could even just be losing yourself, your home, feeling like you're losing your home when you're really not, because you're only focusing on the 3 cups that have fallen before you instead of the 2 that you have. I can even get this as focusing on the wrong partnerships with the lustful energy, and what was lost. Like I don't know, I'm getting a poly situation. When you have an actual solid relationship with 2 cups, it doesn't have to be that, but I'm definitely getting that one relationship being lost that really wasn't beneficial to you, and not focusing on the current one, the one that you still have, the 2 cups that you still have. But it could also, again, be just things in general to be grateful for rather than the things that you've lost, because rejection is protection, and most likely those cups were spilled over because they were tainted. The Ace of Pentacles just landed on the Ace of Cups. Wow, with the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, yeah, there's just a lot of lack mentality here, and it could be stemming from love, the opportunity to love yourself, or love, genuine love as well. Like maybe you weren't loved correctly as a kid, and this causes missed opportunities for you in your current situation where you are seeking lust over love, thinking that that will fill the void when it unfortunately does not. And it also depletes your creative energy because that's where it flows from. And this isn't to say that in a good relationship that you would be depleted if you're making love to your partner or you're very active. No, because there's a deep love there, because you love yourself, your partner loves you, and there is creation being made with the love making. But this is more like jumping into relationships or connections that don't suit you, and it's all based on surface level things. I hope this resonates. Usually my collective, this must be a new collective, because I don't usually pick up on this type of energy, but I hope that this makes sense. I hope that you take away that pedestal that you're trying to put yourself on, or those expectations that you're trying to put yourself on, and you allow yourself to feel, you allow yourself to see yourself, and you allow yourself to get out of this lack mentality. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a long road, but it's not something that can't be accomplished. But it is going to be difficult, so you have to be patient with yourself. I'm going to go ahead and pull a Fae Whisper for you, and we'll get you out of here. All right. And we have, follow the glimmer, trust your heart to guide you on this path. Silent stone, strength is silence. Let your presence speak. So, I'm definitely getting trust the process. Like I said, this isn't easy. You're diving through things that go deep. And there's a lot of energy here going on. Emotions, fire, passion, energy, balancing, and you're doing the right things. You're letting down your guard. You're being more nurturing to yourself, though you're not fully looking at yourself as you should. There's still like a want to still push on and be nurturing and loving, and find that motherly feeling in you. This could also be a mother wound as well, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm also getting strength in silence. If you feel like you have to constantly explain yourself to people for them to understand you, don't. Let people understand you if they want to, and if they don't, or if they can't, you know, it is what it is. Not everybody's made for you. Not everybody's going to see you for who you are. As long as you see yourself, that's all that matters. I want to thank you guys for watching this reading, and you know, give it a like if it resonated with you. And if you have any tidbits on your story that you'd love to share, I'd love to hear it in the comments. But see you next time, guys. Bye.